I'm am now joined with Ashley Martinez right here, right now. Hello, Ashley,
Hello, how
and
are you?
I'm good. Talk a little bit
Good.
about yourself. How did your music career got started?
Um, so basically, since I was 5 years old, I've been, my mom kind of like noticed my talent. I just started singing everywhere at the daycare, and I started performing, in front of live audiences and doing showcases. And then I got signed to a underground label called Six Figures Records when I was like 13, 14 years old. So ever since I was 13, I've been writing, composing my own music, and it's just been a really long haul. I've traveled all over the world to try to pursue my career, and it's all a matter of, are you going to give up or are you going to keep going? And I just held it together. I picked myself back up and I kept going. So I'm here now. I just turned 24, and I live in just outside of Toronto, and I'm still pursuing my music career. So I mean, it's a matter of believing in yourself, and just you got to keep pushing.
That's well said. I mean, dreams do come true if you put the work in,
That's
and
right.
in your case, that's what you've done, and
That's right.
you're making a name for yourself.
Hard work always pays off. So no matter, like, it depends on how much work you put in. So if you're constantly on your grind, you're gonna achieve it. You're gonna do it, especially if you have the talent, or if if you have what it takes. It's always gonna come into play.
I feel like music sometimes can be like a puzzle. Like people are trying to figure out certain things, put the pieces together.
Mhm.
Um, you people say you're a pop singer. People say you're an R&B singer. I mean, how would you best describe your music?
You know what? It's so weird because I can pretty much write to anything that I want. I can write to pop, country, R&B. I can write to any, but to classify myself as an artist, I'd have to say I'm R&B pop. I'm a little bit of both. But I have some songs that reflect in hip hop and pop, or EDM. So I mean, I like all types of music. So I like putting a little bit of everything into one. So, but I'd have to say R&B pop is my genre.
Who do you consider as musical influences in your career?
Wow, that's a really good question. I'd have to say I'm a huge fan of Christina Aguilera. Since I was about 8 years old, I've been trying to hit her notes since I was a young girl, and I've always just been a huge fan of her. I think that she's an incredible talent vocally, and she inspires me with her vocal range, and just the soul she puts into her music. My mother as well. My mother, I grew up, her being a single mother, and my dad kind of being out of the picture. She's always been there to help me through everything, and my mom's my biggest fan. And not only being as strong as my mother is, it's inspired me to be strong as well and to keep pushing. And my mom's always been there to lift me up when I fall. So I'm very thankful for her, and she's a big, big part of my life.
So I scrolled through, your Facebook fan page and your music on SoundCloud. I You sent me a couple of songs. I played them prior to the show, and it's refreshing. I definitely
Oh, thank
like
you.
I like the songs. I like your voice. Um, I have a I've definitely become a fan of yours, and you rep in Canada. I mean, home of Drake, home of The Weeknd, home of many,
Justin Bieber.
yeah, home of that guy.
Yeah.
But you being from Canada, how do you feel about your fellow Canadian artists, especially Drake and Justin Bieber, both making name for themselves, gone different directions. Bieber's been getting in trouble a bit. Drake's about to
Of
release
course.
his next album. I mean, how do you feel about your fellow Canadian artists that's out there right now?
I feel that Canada has a lot of great talent, and I feel that so does, I mean, especially in Toronto. I mean, you have so many great rappers and so many great singers out there. I have to give it to them. I'm definitely with them on that. Like, especially Drake and Justin Bieber. They worked hard. and like I said, hard work pays off, and I gotta give them props for, you know, achieving their goals and dreams. And it wasn't easy for them to get up there, and it's not easy as an artist to, especially an independent artist, to pursue your dreams. And you're gonna have a lot of people that turn away from you, a lot of people that shut the door on your face, and a lot of people that are gonna reject you and tell you that, you know, your music is garbage and you don't have hit songs. So for them to get up to where they are today, for Drake to be as successful as he is, and Justin Bieber, you know, it took a lot of work and a lot of people. So for them to get through the cracks was kind of, it's inspiring to me, because they got there for a reason, and they probably had a lot of people shut the door in their faces. So I gotta give it to them.
Most definitely.
They're very, very, very talented young people. They're very, very talented at what they do, and that's why they are where they are, because, you know, they stayed on top of it, and they believed in themselves, and they had good people around them to push them, and they're not just there because they're there because they pushed and they got through all the shadiness and all the people that just wanted to bring them down.
Absolutely. And here you mentioned, you know, there's always going to be people saying things about people's music and their style, and there's one thing to say constructive criticism, like maybe people need to improve their singing, maybe they need to improve the vocals or whatever. And then there's people that's going to say, oh, people post on social media, oh, that's garbage, I can't stand this person. How do you how do you handle the criticism or constructive criticism that heads towards your way?
To be honest with you, when I was younger, it was very hard for me. It was very hard for me to accept when somebody would say something bad, or when someone would try to put me down. I just didn't understand it. And I understand there's a lot of jealousy out there. There's a lot of people that want to compete with you, or they find you a threat, and they're not happy with their lives. So that's what you have to put in your head. You have to be confident in yourself. And as a young woman, I've learned to, you know, not only grow as a woman and grow as an artist, but I've grown to appreciate who I am, and, you know, I have the confidence, and that's what I tell everybody. Just believe in you, and you'll overcome any obstacle in your life. And as long as you have the right people to believe in you, you'll be okay. So I handle it. I handle what people say. I just kind of brush it off. I'm like, yeah, whatever, let them talk. You know, if they're talking about me, there's got to be a reason. You know, I must be doing something right if they're talking. So whether good or bad.
To quote the great Cat Williams, if you looking for somebody to hate, feel free to hate on me. I'm just gonna do my thing. So, with some of the music that you have on SoundCloud and other music sites, do you have any, like, are you working on an album or EP or a mixtape at this moment?
Actually, I have a lot of music at the moment, so I'm constantly in the studio. I'm constantly writing, composing my own songs. At the moment, I'm working on an album. I would love to get an album fully finished. I have all the material. It's just a matter of getting the right material, and you know, you want to make sure that every song on your album is a hit. So I'm trying to just constantly push. I'm constantly writing, so just trying to get in any way that I can. And you know, I have some good opportunities, and I'm just, you know, weaning out my opportunities, and I guess we'll see, right? So got to keep pushing, and that's what I'm doing. So.
You know, throughout the years, music has evolved, and usually you got to send a demo tape to a record label and see if they'll like your music or not. Nowadays, you can hear music on YouTube, you can hear music on social media, and people will hear your music through there. And then there's American Idol, there's The Voice, there's other competitive shows. When it comes to those shows in particular, have you ever auditioned for those shows?
Wow. I've auditioned for a lot. Like, I think I've set up for almost everything. You know what? I try more so to do shows around, you know, in my area. I try to do more shows, like, not showcases. I've done a lot of showcases, but I try to just get myself out there in any way I can. I feel like what's more important besides doing shows is doing, you know, getting on the internet. You know, internet is the best tool. It's especially as an independent artist, if you're not getting out there doing shows, it's really important to just get out there and push your music wherever you can, whether it be Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, anywhere you can. SoundCloud, push it wherever you can. LinkedIn, I'm pretty much on every site you can think of. But no, I feel that it's just important. Just get yourself out there, even if you have to sing on the side of on the road and have people hear you, or in the corner of the street, or whatever it is. You know, you're going to get yourself out there no matter what, as long as you're pushing. So I don't feel it's as important to do those big live shows, like, you know, especially being in Canada. I can't try out for American Idol, or I can't try out for all those major TV shows in the States, because, you know, you have to reside in Canada. So it's pretty unfortunate.
It definitely is unfortunate. I wish maybe they could have those type of shows in Canada, so, you know, maybe you can make a name for yourself there. But like you say,
I mean,
you know, but like you say, there's other ways to get your music out there, and as long as people
absolutely.
are listening, at least that's a good sign. I hear that you was a opening act for one of my favorite rappers, Meek Mill. What was that like?
That was actually a very, very, very awful experience, to be honest with you. And I think that you have to go through really hard times in your life to appreciate the good. But I actually went to Miami, and I went to the Sex on the Beach Expo, where it was kind of like, you know, it was just a long, long story. But overall, it was a good experience. I got to be the opening act, so I just kind of like did what I had to do and just kind of went home. So when at the end of the day, you know, everybody wants to be in the spotlight. Everybody wants to be the one that everyone else opens up for. So I kind of took it as an experience and just went home. Regardless, I got to open up for him, but it wasn't the greatest experience of my life. It was more, to me, it was more of a learning experience, and that's something that I will take in as an artist and just keep growing and keep going on.
Is that because maybe there was some issues with the mic, issues with the accommodations, anything in particular?
It was more issues with the people that were involved in the actual show itself. So it was, I mean, you're going to always come across, as an artist, and I tell this to everybody, you're always going to come across shady people who, like I said, don't want you to do well, or people that are just out for money. You know what I mean? Money, unfortunately, money makes the world go round, but there's always somebody trying to make a buck. And when it comes to money, nobody's your friend, you know, and that's what I learned, you know, being there that weekend and just going through whatever it was I was going through. So I feel that, you know, unfortunately, it was the people that were involved that it was kind of an awful experience for me. And at the end of the day, all I wanted to do was just go on stage and sing, and, you know, people just always get in the way. And like I said, you know, you're going to meet shady people everywhere. You just got to keep your eye open, and you can't trust nobody in this business. You just can't.
Wow, that's messed up. I mean, 'cause
yeah.
but like you said, all you can do is just take it as a learning experience and keep it moving. Now,
That's right.
if you can have a dream collaboration with any artist or band, dead or alive, what would your dream collaboration be?
Wow. There's definitely a lot of people that I would love to with, that including like Beyonce, Lady Gaga. But I'd have to say my number one choice would be Christina Aguilera, just because I've always looked up to her as an artist, as a singer, as a performer. So I've always looked up to. I have to say Christina Aguilera, because she definitely inspires me, and she's the one person that I would see that I'd probably be very starstruck. So I love her. Definitely, I think she's great.
I can definitely see an Ashley Martinez and Christina Aguilera collaboration. I mean, you never know. You never know. I mean, anything can happen, as people say. And you know, the thing with Christina, she's definitely have one of the more memorable voices of this generation. I mean,
I agree.
Her voice, I mean, just how she able to hang on to those notes. I mean, those are God-given notes right there. I mean,
yeah.
So, and she's incredible, and I got a lot of respect for Christina and how she's able to open the doors for people like yourself to
That's right.
get out there and pursue your dreams. Um, Before we let you go, Ashley, why don't you go ahead and promote your links, your Facebook, Twitter, SoundCloud, any other links people need to know?
Wow, thank you. Wow, there's a lot. I mean, if you just Google my name, Ashley Martinez, you can find quite a lot. But you can go on my SoundCloud, just punch in Ashley Martinez. You can go on to my Twitter, follow me on Twitter at AshleyM2889, ASHLEYM2889. My Facebook fan page, you can just simply punch in Ashley Martinez. I'm on thisis50.com. You got to promote 50. You got to love 50 Cent. Thisis50.com. YouTube, Ashley Martinez. I'm on every site. LinkedIn, Coast to Coast. I'm on Coast to Coast. I have a profile on there as well. You basically punch me in. You can find me on quite a lot of sites. So I thank you very, very much. I shout out to everybody who's ever, been there behind me, and I'll never forget. And I also thank all the haters as well, because, at the end of the day, they motivate me to keep going and just to keep proving that I am something. I can be something one day, and I definitely will be. And I want to thank you so much for having me on the show. It means a lot on your radio show. It means a lot to me. So hopefully, we'll meet up again, and we can do it again. And thank you very much.
You are absolutely welcome. Thank you for being on the show as well. You are welcome to be back. Who knows, when your album comes out, we definitely should have a follow-up interview in the future. That will be cool.
Absolutely.
And if you got any more music, send them my way, and I'll do what I can to spread the word of the Ashley Martinez.